Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. This is take 2. For whatever reason, this stupid phone that I got because it gets better service than my Apple iPhone, it doesn't hold much memory. And I was filming and it just stopped. Where's the lens on this one? I want to look you in the eye. That's not it. Right there. Okay. Hi. A Viking asked words to the effect of, how far should I push back the perimeter from my house, cut woods and trees and brush? Is it good to have it up close and be hidden in the woods, or to push it back? And if so, how far? That was basically it. We're going to look at that. But first, let me have a sip of this again. I have an idea I want to bounce off y'all. I watched most of the Democrat debate last night, and my wife was sitting there watching something else, and I was just ranting. Rah, rah, rah. And then I thought, this might be an idea. What about if I do a live stream where I comment on the debate the next time? And I would have to set it up, because I don't have copyrights or anything like that, where I would watch it on a screen off camera with earbuds in, so the debate would be playing live, and I'd be live streaming to you on like this camera, and y'all, to get the most out of it, would have to have one device with it playing and me on another device live streaming. And then I could just rant about what they're saying and how stupid they are, or how it's not going to work, or how that's actually a good idea, or she didn't answer the question again. Like that. What do y'all think? Is that a good idea or not? If we get a lot of positivity and people saying, yeah, that's a good idea, I'd watch it. I'll probably do it. I'll probably put it on YouTube just so we get more people. I'd like to get people who actually want to vote Democrat on their ranting back. I think that could be fun. So, that's that. Okay, let's talk about, how far should I push back my perimeter, if at all. Like all tactical questions, it depends. That's one answer. It depends on METTC, mission, enemy, terrain, time, troops available. There's one more T in there. An effect on civilians or the locals. Terrain, time, troops available. That's it. It depends on that. On the one hand. On the other hand, it don't matter. And on the other hand, I know, right? On the other hand, as far back as you can. So let's look at that. METTC is important. I've talked about it before. Here, you can go back and find it. I don't tag things. This same person said, "Can you send me the tag for what?" No. I don't intend this Patreon channel to be an encyclopedia, right? I just put stuff out, but it's all still there if you want to go back and look at it. But the bottom line is, with all tactical questions, it depends. There is never just a solid answer. There's rarely just one answer. Who's your enemy? Clearly the mission is you want to defend your place, right? Got it. Who's the enemy? Who are your potential bad guys? What are their capabilities? What are their intentions? If it's a pack of Girl Scouts, no big deal. If it's a pack of elk hunters, might be in trouble. Right? If it's Green Berets, forget about it. Don't worry, they're not coming for you. So yeah, who's your enemy? What do you have available? Do you have a pack of Anatolian Shepherds that you've trained to run your perimeter constantly? Does one of them have a GoPro mounted on it so you can monitor what they're seeing? Yeah. That will change what you can and can't do. What are your reaction capabilities? Do you have a 10 guys who are sitting in a ready room, kitted out, ready to deploy at a moment's notice? Or is it you and Ma? Right? That's the it depends. The it doesn't matter is this. The vast majority of you have little to no real tactical understanding experience. It's not a slight. You can do other things. You just don't have this. And so dealing with someone who's actually coming for you, yes, there are things you can do. Don't misunderstand me on that. There's things you should do and yada, yada, yada. But breaking it down to how far back should I push my perimeter, that's kind of getting down in the weeds a little bit because it's not going to matter. How far can you shoot? It doesn't really make any sense to push it back much further than you can shoot. Well, sure it does. You can push it all the way back that I can see him coming from a mile away. Oh, now we have time. We can run away or whatever. But really, you know, some people would not just clear the woods back, but they'd like clear the underbrush and leave some trees and stuff. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a soccer field or if it's a cleared park-like woods. You get the right people coming for you, you'll never see them, right? And it doesn't matter how far it is. So, you know, who's your enemy? What are their capabilities? And the other reason it doesn't matter is, you know, the military can look at a region and say, we want to put a base camp somewhere in this region. We want to put a retreat somewhere in this region. Okay, this is the best spot right here. Dook! Because you generally want high ground is generally better than low ground, right? You want to be above everybody, and you want to be able to see, which gets to the last point, as far as possible, right? Clear it out as far as you can. But back to it doesn't matter. You're not going to do that, one, because you need your trees, right? They provide shade or maybe fruit or, you know, whatever. And the other thing is real distances. You know, 40 acres, if this is 40 acres on a map, it's 440 yards, basically, on a side. If you put your house in the middle of 40 acres, you got 220 yards. I would say the average deer hunter with a scoped rifle can hit a man-sized target at 220 yards 50% of the time at least. Probably better than that, quite frankly. Probably better. So if you want more land than that, well then, you know, you can't have 80 acres and have more land because you'll still have a 220-yard shot max on one aspect. It'll be longer on the sides, you know. I mean, it's that math thing. And so are you going to put your house in the middle of a section, you know, 660 acres? Probably not. And then bulldoze it? Probably not. Won't be very nice. And so that's why it doesn't matter. Another option is to selectively clear and selectively leave shooting positions, looking at it from the enemy's eye. Over there, yeah, right there, he'd like to get in position to shoot me, and then know where that is and target it. You know, hide a claymore in there with wires back to the tower. You know, something. But again, that's getting just beyond the capabilities of most people. I would tell you be more concerned in those instances with fire, forest fire. We have cleared around our house so that no tree can fall on the house. If the tree falls, it will not hit the house. And then we're clearing back, it's a process, in the woods, if you will, picking up all the deadfall, moving that out, usually burning it, and cutting branches within 10 feet of the ground. And that's for fire. So that when fire comes through, it just like burns in the leaves and keeps going. Doesn't set whole trees on fire because there's no load for it to catch on to. But that's that. You should put your enemy hat on and walk around your home on your retreat with the idea that I am going to attack this home. How would you do it? How would you attack your home? How do you think Bubba would do it? Or Cletus or whoever? You know, I don't know. Who's your enemy? Who do you think's coming? You know, if it's the Chinese Delta Force, forget about it. They're coming in helicopters and fast ropes, and they've already got guys on the ground. Yeah, you're done. Wave the flag. So I know that's not a satisfying answer. I know people like the answer, you should clear back 220 yards all around your house. You're not gonna. I do know a guy who is a retired sniper from a very famous organization, and he bought a place in a canyon in Idaho or Utah, somewhere up there, the Mountain West, and the road kind of came up this valley canyon, and there were farmsteads on it, and he was at the back end of it. He was the last house on the lane, and his property went up, and then there were cliffs all around. Yes, you can scale cliffs down to get them. Yes, you could probably, I don't know, you probably couldn't see his house from the top of the cliff knowing this guy. I've never saw his house. I was just talking to him about it one time. But he had a 50 caliber sniper rifle. Oh, and he actually knew how to use it. And his plan was he'd see people coming, you know, a mile and a half away and be able to deal with it before they got to him. Okay, that's an option. Who's pulling security 24/7 to see them coming? Right. So, there's the idea. Selectively clear around your area. Know where the bad guys would want to hide to shoot at you and have a plan for that. Not super satisfying, I know. But it's along the same lines of, for home security, they tell you think like a criminal. You know, don't let the bushes grow up over top of your windows so that people can hide behind the bushes while they're jimmying your window, kind of thing, right? You know, keep them trimmed down so people can see it from the street. Another security thing, which I see violated in some gas stations, stop and robs, is that they fill their windows with decals and stickers so that guys driving by, the policeman, can't look in and see what's going on. It's better to have those windows clear so that somebody from the street can see if everybody in there is standing like this and that, you know, there's a dude with a gun pointing at them. That would be better. But instead they just close them all up so you can't tell what's going on in there. Not smart from the business owner standpoint, and really those decals don't work anyway, right? So, same kind of concept. Walk around, look at it with a bad guy's eye, and say, how would I attack this place? And depending on your level of whatever, that'll be more or less right. Know your enemy. Who's coming for ya? And again, let's just get to this again. Clearing the perimeter back with the idea that, you know, I'll see the bad guys coming so I can take actions to prevent that from happening is the same concept as defending your home from your mailbox. Ooh, don't want to do that. You want to defend out there and away. I don't want to be shooting from my home through the cleared space at the enemy coming. Because you know what? If I'm shooting at them, they're shooting at me, and I don't know about you, but my house ain't bulletproof. And you know, there are things I care about inside the house, like my family, right? So think about that. You don't want to fight the bad guys right up against you. And I talked about that in Retreat Security recently, and gave some ideas on that. So that's that. I really wanted to mow today, but it's raining, and that's probably not going to happen. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm intending to. We're getting the stove going. I cleaned out from around it yesterday in the kitchen. We're going to be moving it here. I measured on the floor, where does this stove have to go? We were just up in Kansas not that long ago, and I was talking to some people that had a stove. I actually sold them the stove. I sold them. I convinced them that they wanted this stove. I took them to another friend of mine's house who had one. They saw it and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get that stove. And they have it. And they love it. Everybody who has it loves it. It's the Pioneer Maid. And I think they changed the name to the Pioneer Princess. It's the same stove. And when we get it up, of course, we'll show it to you. All right. Keep digging away at it. I'll see you out there.